Have you ever heard of a love story that defies the odds? Join us on an exhilarating journey through the demon marriage, an African tale filled with suspense, moral lessons, and a battle between good and evil. Will love conquer all? Tune in to find out. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that anytime we upload a new video, you will be the first to watch it. Thank you. Now let's dive in. Once upon a time, in the village of Amakom, there lived a man named Kwesi who had a son named Kojo. Kwesi firmly believed that his son was good for nothing. Without a mother to guide him, the boy was pampered but constantly scolded, which hindered his ability to think for himself. One day, Kwesi's brother-in-law, Ya, visited their home. "Brother-in-law, your son is of marriageable age now. Are you looking for a match?" Ya asked. Kwesi sighed. "Besides, who would marry such a fool? Must be my bad karma." As they spoke, Kojo walked out of the house, oblivious to their conversation. Seeing this, Kwesi called out, "Instead of ignoring us, why don't you come and greet your uncle before leaving?" "Do I need to tell you everything?" he scolded. Kojo approached and greeted his uncle. "Uncle, how are you?" Before quickly leaving, without waiting for a response, Ya looked disappointed. "You're right, brother. It's difficult." He left before I could even respond. Ya left, and Kwesi called out to his son, "Kojo, you greeted your uncle but didn't wait to hear what he had to say. How can you live like that?" "But Dad, you told me to greet him and leave." "That's exactly what I did. How is it my fault?" Kojo responded. Growing up with his father's constant instructions, Kojo turned into a simpleton. The only thing he excelled at was diving into the village pond and holding his breath for a long time. Whatever task his father gave him, he managed to mess up. Unable to bear it any longer, Kwesi thought, maybe my brother-in-law Ya is right. Perhaps getting him married will bring some sense into him, and I will have some help at home. Maybe a daughter-in-law will take care of the household duties. Despite this hope, no one in the village was willing to marry their daughter to Kojo. One day, Kwesi heard of a potential match in a nearby village. Taking his son for the marriage proposal, he explained in detail how to behave. "Look, no one in our village is willing to marry you, so we are looking for a match in the next village. Don't act foolishly there. As soon as we arrive, remove your shoes, leave them behind the door, and sit in the chair they show you. I will handle the rest." "Got it?" Kwesi instructed. Kojo nodded, trying to remember his father's instructions, and sat in the cart, repeating to himself, "First, I remove my shoes, leave them behind the door, and sit in the chair." However, the instructions got mixed up on the way. When they reached the village and entered the house, Kojo removed his shoes, placed them on the chair, and sat behind the door. The girl's father immediately understood everything. "Oh my God, what a fool you've brought here. Did you think I would marry my daughter to such an idiot? No, we don't want this match. Leave immediately, or I will have you thrown out," shouted, sending them away. Humiliated, Kwesi returned home and lashed out at Kojo. "Kojo, what did I tell you to do and what did you do? You will never get married. Only a fool would give his daughter to you. Go and find that fool. Leave me alone." Misinterpreting his father's words, Kojo thought, "So, a fool will give me a daughter. Dad said so. All right, I will find that fool tonight and get married." Determined, Kojo set out to find the fool who would give him a bride. He traveled for 3 days, and on the 4th evening, he reached a mountainous area. Hearing strange sounds from a cave, he thought, "What is that sound? Someone must be there. Maybe the fool who will give me a bride is hiding here." Peeking inside, he saw a demon snoring. Approaching the demon, he noticed the demon's matted hair and thought, "This must be the fool, scared and hiding. You can't escape me." Grabbed the demon's hair and shook him awake. The demon woke up and roared, "Who are you? Why did you wake me up?" he asked angrily. "Can't escape without giving me a bride, fool. Marry me to your daughter and give me a dowry now," Kojo demanded as he twisted the demon's ear and ragged him. The demon was about to attack Kojo when his wife emerged from the cave, hearing the commotion. "Who is it? Why are you shouting? This man wants to marry our daughter and calls me a fool. I'm teaching him a lesson," Demon roared. "Have you lost your mind? Our daughter is a bit chubby, and no one in our clan wants to marry her. Now that a groom has come looking for her, you should be welcoming him. Are you really a demon?" She scolded her husband. Kojo, confused, asked, "Are you my mother-in-law? I only know the fool, but where is the bride?" The demon's wife smiled. "Are you looking for the bride? She just went for a walk. She'll be back in a while. Rest here for now, son." "Oh, okay. If you say you will give me a bride, I will do as you say," Kojo replied. The demon's wife offered Kojo food, which he ate before falling asleep in the cave. Meanwhile, the demon, craving to eat Kojo, whispered to his wife, "I can't resist. He looks strong. Let me eat him tonight." No. Finally, our daughter will get married because of him. Keep your hunger in check. Don't act crazy," she warned. Guarding Kojo, the demon's daughter returned at midnight, causing a commotion that woke him up. "Where did you go? Your groom has come looking for you. Go see him quickly." The demon's wife told her daughter. "Okay, but what about father? He will not let a human go without eating him," Kojo questioned. "That's why I'm guarding here. I'll be back in a while. You keep an eye on him," the demon's wife said before leaving. As soon as she left, the demon's daughter grew more tempted to eat Kojo. Not wanting to do this inside the cave, she woke him up and said, "The wedding preparations are done. Let's go." Understanding her trick, Kojo replied, "How can we marry immediately? First, you need to give me the dowry. Without that, no wedding." Hearing this, the demon's daughter went inside, brought out a bag full of jewels and gold, and gave it to Kojo. "Here are the jewels my father saved for my wedding. Take them as dowry and marry me." "Let's go," she insisted. Holding the bag tightly, Kojo followed her out of the cave. Once outside, he said, "Wait, how can we marry without bathing? We need to purify ourselves first. Is it necessary now?" "All right, let's go." She agreed and took him to a pond. Kojo jumped into the water with the bag and sat there. The demon's daughter, afraid of water, shouted, "Are you coming out or not? How long will you stay in the water? Come out quickly." "I'm scared of water." Hearing no response, she thought, if he stays in the water, he will die by tomorrow. Then I can eat him. I need to go home now. It's getting late. She called out, "All right, it's your fate. I'm leaving. Come if you want," and left. When the demon's wife returned, she asked, "Where's my son-in-law? I brought food for him." We looked into the cave and found Kojo missing. "Oh no, I thought my daughter would finally marry, but her father and sisters ate him. Now she will never marry," cried. Meanwhile, Kojo, surfacing from the water, saw that the demon's daughter was gone. He slowly got out with the bag and said to himself, "Finally, I escaped the demon. Thanks to the only skill I have, I survived and even got all this gold. I must go and tell my father." He returned home with the bag. His father, Kwesi, was overjoyed to see him return with wealth. "You have proved yourself by bringing back jewels and gems. I thought my son was useless, but you returned with wealth enough for generations. Now I believe you can live on your own. I'm very happy." The news spread through the village and people began talking about Kojo. Eventually, he found a good match, got married, and soon proved his worth by succeeding in business, showing that the skill he had was enough to become wealthy.